Well, happy Mother's Day, all these lovely mothers that look so beautiful today, right? Isn't it great to be a mom? Isn't it great that you have a mom, too, that loves you, right? Always important in your life. There's a lot of things that we could say to our moms, but the best thing you can do is just put your arms around them and say thank you. So I hope that you get a chance to do that today, and I get a chance to spoil them. But for right now in the service, we're going to put on a video, and then we're going to have a couple of testimonies about moms. So give you a few minutes, and they're going to turn that on.
A mother's love, so deep, so wide. A steady hand, a faithful guide. She wipes our tears. She calms our fears. She walks beside us through the years. She wakes before the morning light to pray, to serve, to guide, to fight. Not battles waged with sword or might, but prayers whispered through the night. But some are mothers not by birth, yet pour out love of boundless worth. They mother hearts, they shape a soul, they fulfill a mother's sacred role. A grandma's arms, an aunt's embrace, a foster mom who fills the space. A teacher, mentor, sister, or friend. They love like Christ without an end. To those who've lost, who grieve today, we see your tears, we hear you pray. A mother's love does not depart. It lives forever in the heart. Oh, bless the mothers, our Lord above, for all they've done, for all their love. For in this love, so deep, so true, we glimpse, O Lord, a love like you.
Well, so making videos is far from my favorite. It's stupid awkward looking at a camera. But this is a worthwhile cause. It's Mother's Day today. And perhaps I'm often the more visible one in our family, the most visible one out of the home. But I would say this. Proverbs talks about who can find a worthy wife. A worthy wife is worth far more than precious jewels. If riches are a measure of anything, jewels maybe means riches, precious possessions maybe. I often, when I talk to folks that I meet, I'll say in our country we talk, or in our continent, we talk about our income and the conditions we live in, and sometimes we use numbers like we're in the wealthiest 2% of the global population as an average in Canada. Of the wealthiest 2%, I would say I am probably of the 2% of the most fortunate, and what I usually then describe is it's because of the relationships I have. I don't have to second guess that Angela supports me. I don't have to second guess that everything she does or says, whether I hear it or whether I don't hear it, she has my back, is not something to question. I don't know how in the world I could find a wife, therefore a mother of our children, who could score any better. To know that our family unit, our marriage is 100% secure. She will not call me down, call me out, tear me down in private with her friends or with me. She does not tear down our kids. She teaches our kids resilience, work ethic, what they learn in terms of their education. She's setting the tone for a future generation. She's setting the tone for this generation. She does that by being tireless. And then to top it all off, on top of all of those characteristics, working hard, making herself strong. So many just admirable qualities. On top of that, she's pretty cute. So happy Mother's Day, Angela. Thank you for being the best mother I could have imagined for our kids. I love you lots.
Okay, I was asked what my wife means to me as the mother of our children. When I think about who my wife is, not just in general, but specifically as the mother of our children, it's more than just the usual sweet or sentimental words that come to mind. The words that come to my mind are strong, powerful, and purposeful. She's a servant, an organizer, an encourager, an enforcer, a motivator. She's our sergeant at arms, sometimes armed with nothing more than a flip-flop or a wooden spoon. She's the calendar, the scheduler, the reminder for every music lesson and every school event. She's the birthday cake maker and the party planner, the spotless house cleaner, the decorator, the chore giver, the cook, and I could go on and on. You might have noticed that I did not mention friend or buddy. That's because my wife, as a mom, is very clear and direct in what she expects from our children. She doesn't fall for excuses or let things slide when chores aren't done. The kids are motivated and notified very quickly. For the short window of time we have our children at home before they become adults, I believe this kind of intentional planning and parenting is one of the most important things a mother can do to train her children to become responsible, respectful, capable, and serving adults. And here's the beautiful part that I'm already starting to see with my wife. Because she led with such firm structure and love when they were young, she is now beginning to build real friendships with her kids as they grow into young adults. The deep respect they have for her is turning into a meaningful, mature connection. The seriousness and dedication that she put into being a mom, the way she poured herself into teaching or guiding our kids, is what I appreciate most. It's what means the most to me about her as the mother of my children. I'm so proud of you, sugar babe, and you are the exact mom our kids needed, the very best. I love you forever and always.
Good morning and happy Mother's Day. It's an honor to recognize mothers, and especially the mother of my children, Karen. She does a tremendous job sacrificing for the children, making sure that they have what they need to have a successful life. An example is taking time when it's not convenient to take time to hang out. The timer goes on, okay, it's time to hang out with the kids. And that is just a tremendous role that Karen is filling doing that. Another example is when one of our children had a special diet need, she decided to join with the diet and not just make a special meal one meal, but rather she would join fully in on that. And that shows the commitment and sacrifice that mothers are willing to make for their children, and it adds tremendous value. Happy Mother's Day.
One of the things that I appreciate the most about my wife as the mother of her children is how she trains and teaches them in the Word of God and in their relationship with God, and how she represents the gifts of the Holy Spirit through patience and love and kindness, and how she sharpens their character through life experience at home as well as in the community.
Yeah, give them a big round of applause. I kind of hunted them down and captured them and held them hostage. No, I didn't do that. They lovingly wanted to do that, and I think it's so sweet. We've done, kids and we've done moms, but dads have a different perspective of a mother, and so I thought it would be good that they would share their heart, and they certainly did. I learned some new names for the girls, so I'll have to call them that. No, I'm only kidding. You guys are a blessing, and I hope that you know that we love you here at Freedom Worship, and that hello? Okay. Here at Freedom Worship. And I hope that you guys love and encourage one another, but put your arms around your mom. And maybe you've missed your mom. Maybe there's a spiritual mom in your life. I know when I became a Christian, I had 4 spiritual moms. I don't know what I would have done without them. They kind of walked me through a lot with my mom as well, but the 4 spiritual moms were so important in my life. And so even today, I still contact them. And you know what I do? Even every Mother's Day, I still write letters to my mom. She's gone 14 years. But for some reason, my dad as well, I write on Father's Day and Mother's Day to what I would say if they were here. Somehow, that gives me a little peace and joy. I know it may sound silly, but I think that's how much an impression a mom makes on your heart. And so I hope that you realize and love and cherish what you have in your families. And if you welcome right now, I'm going to have Carlos come up and do some speaking for us on moms. Give him a big round of applause.
Good morning. We have heard a number of definitions on mothering today, a number of really good stories. I'm going to give a few more because I like to start with definitions in conversations that matter, and conversations about mothers matter a lot. So when I Googled the definition of mother, one of the prestigious dictionaries that has existed longer than Google returned the first definition as a female parent. Very helpful. So I based the entirety of my speech on that definition. So you are today at bio class. Welcome. That's a joke. But there are some important lessons in that, because strictly speaking, a mother is where fertilization first happens. The very first germination, incubation period, the growth from, let's call it an idea or a concept, physically happens in that secure environment in the mother's body. It's powerful. So even in theory, in our current day and age, if as the parents together we were to split our duties perfectly equally after birth, the mother still has spent more time with the child. Just saying. We could also call mothers greenhouses or soil or the river course. Okay, so that's some ideas around the first portion of the definition. The second portion of the definition we heard about in a number of the videos so far. A woman in authority. That is so valuable. When mom has a word to say, means a lot. It guides children. It sets their direction. Often you can't see it in the moment. A woman in authority, or a woman of influence and bearing and power, we often describe by referring to Proverbs 31. We'll often pull traits out of Proverbs 31 and say, this is a Proverbs 31 woman because she gets up early in the morning, or because she buys and sells property, or you pick some of the other activities that are described in Proverbs 31. It was interesting to me to spend some time thinking about how would I distill Proverbs 31 into a value versus an activity? And I don't know that this is correct. It's certainly not a teaching. But the idea that came into my mind was, I think a Proverbs 31 woman, in whatever suits her character, her gifting, and her skill set, looks after the needs of her household or what she is responsible for. That can be economic, it can be feeding, it can be clothing, it can be moral support, encouragement, correction. And it is all of those things and so many of those things tirelessly, mundanely, incredibly important. As Roberta was saying, in my world there have been a number of mother figures as well for me, some that I have spoken to often and some that I have not. In my upbringing, I was not very close with my grandmother, but she left a very real, meaningful lesson for me. The family legend makes it clear that after Pastor Abe's family moved across a continent in search of a way to make a living, past the prime of my grandfather's life, it was my grandmother's encouragement, support, and motivation that provided, at the end of their lives, a season when they didn't have to worry about where food would come from tomorrow. That's the impression she left, the legacy she left. A very small part of it, and I can't do it all justice. Angela lost her Oma in the last few weeks. What she remembers of her Oma is that her Oma mothered multiple generations. There was nothing spectacular. She showed up, and she helped, and she was present in the various seasons of her daughters, her granddaughters, help with spelling, help with algebra, a home to move to when the family fell apart. Those types of roles that a mother fills that we don't talk about, they set a foundation. They provide the soil, the springboard, whatever term you want to use, for the rest of life, for the next generation. Incredibly valuable. There's so much discussion these days about how can we change our country, our society. I think the mothers in this community are contributing massively to that. There are a lot of mothers in the world that are contributing, but it is, in my opinion, the only way to change a society is by individuals, and nobody has more power over the individual's likely direction in the next generation than a mother. And it's not in spectacular moments. It is in the mundane, in the day-to-day. So when I travel sometimes, and you'll go up to like a customs kiosk, or a security officer, or you go to anywhere where you have to do a legal application, I've sometimes heard women ask the question, what do you do? What's your occupation? And then sometimes it's with sort of embarrassment, well, I'm just a homemaker. Perhaps you could say something like, I'm changing the next generation. I'm setting them up for success. I'm setting the next generation up to actually build, to grow, to make a better world. It is a powerful, powerful role. My mom, I have gone to a number of, let's say, personal development seminars, courses, read a lot of books. a central theme in so many of them, and even in teaching in churches, is something that my mom taught me, and I checked with her after the first service. She doesn't remember teaching me this. So you don't know what you're teaching your children that will change their lives, that they will hold on to and never forget. So I'm the oldest in my family. My next sister is 2 years younger. My first brother is 6 years younger, and then another brother, and then another sister. So as an 8, 10, 12-year-old boy, when your mother has a bunch of babies, what can you do to be useful? It seemed like I washed the dishes a whole lot. I mean, that was my perspective. My hands were clean for at least a minute every day. I didn't like washing the dishes. I was like, this is horrible. Mom, I don't want to do the dishes again. It's no fun doing the dishes. I don't know what temperament she was in. I don't remember the tone of her voice. I don't remember whether she was mad or happy or trying to build me up or not, but I remember the words. Dat's gans het meeste aan de bovenste draaisaal. So in English, the equivalent translation is, the most of your not enjoying doing the dishes is in your head, in your top 3 inches. Over and over again. It's up here that you don't enjoy doing the dishes. And she'd show me. She would do the dishes way more often than I did. She would do them fast and well and sing. And it's not because she naturally enjoyed them, and it's not because anything other than she chose to. And she showed me how I could choose to. That's at the core of everything. Even the Bible talks about as a person thinks, so they go. My mom taught me that in a very practical way, and she didn't know it. I see that now with Angela all the time. It's just educating the kids all day at home every week. Just getting them up again in the morning, feeding them breakfast again, feeding them lunch again, sending them to their schoolwork again. Little sister gets locked out of the room because she's annoying again. But in those moments, she is training them. How do you respond to adversity? How do you respond to rejection? Do you reject when someone isn't fun? There's just incredible amount of life lessons in those moments at home, whether you educate at home or whether your kids go to school and you have them at home around school on weekends and in evenings. It doesn't have to be special. It doesn't have to be deeply strategic. Follow God, pursue God, desire to grow. You don't even have to be awesome. If you desire to grow, your kids will learn, they will watch, and you will shape the next generation. You will provide the banks to the energy, the river of energy that flows out of those little humans. You provide banks for that. You direct it. You do your best not to dam it off and kill it. And even when you do, a river usually finds a way around it. So don't beat yourself up too much. It's such a shallow word, but I would say mothers are pretty much the folks who should be superheroes. We have a joke in our marriage. When I first brought Angela out to visit the community, we went to a youth rally. And somebody asked, does anybody here know someone famous? And being the punk I was, I shot my hand up and pointed at Angela, who had never met any of these people before. She's like mortified, totally terrified. But today, if anyone deserves to be famous, somebody like Angela. The work she does, the role she does, the person she is and is becoming, how she strengthens herself in so many ways. mentioned it in the little video. Resilience is caught. If you can show your kids resilience, good for you. They don't know they're watching. You may not know they're watching. But if you can bend back, if you can snap back, if you can at least not stay down when life knocks you over, if you can choose your response and your attitude, you're setting your kids up. You're setting your kids up to do well. And if you haven't been able to get up, doesn't mean all is lost. Try again. Hold on to God again. I'm going to read lyrics to a song that we're going to also listen to. So I hope that doesn't feel like a waste of time. It's been a meaningful song in our house for quite a number of years. I want to be there when the voices in your head are loud enough to make you lose your mind. Just the same when you're dominating the day, I want to be the one who's by your side. You know my love is not the jealous type. It doesn't matter if we win or lose. I could stay or I could come no matter where you're coming from. I can be the one to let you choose. I want to hold you close but never hold you back. Just like the banks to the river. If you ever feel like you're not enough, I'm going to break all your mirrors. I want to be there when the darkness closes in to make the truth a little clearer. I want to hold you close but never hold you back. I'll be the banks to your river. You are beautiful and wild at every turn. Who am I to take control of that? But everybody needs a voice they can follow. When the water and the winds get bad, you know my love is not the jealous type. It doesn't matter if we win or lose. I could push or I could pull, no matter what you're trying to do. As long as I can flow along with you, I want to hold you close but never hold you back, just like the banks to the river. You don't have to do it all by yourself. So when the current gets strong and you need somewhere to rest your bones, I want to be there for you. I want to be strong for you. I want to hold you close but never hold you back, just like the banks to the river. I think that could be the cry of many moms' hearts, or parents. But if you would play the song, then we'll